And Fred, we're probably good to go ahead and get started.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit mute all, and then you have the ability to unmute yourself. So the floor is yours, Andrew.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the GLAF annual meeting for 2020. I'll be your host tonight, Andrew Harvey. So everyone, just give me 1 second. Let me switch the slide deck. Everyone see the welcome slide? Good. All right. Thank you, everyone. And I guess I should turn on my video so you can actually see me. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight for the 2020 annual GLAF annual meeting. Tonight, you'll see a common theme throughout everything that we're talking about tonight, and that is thankful. Because truly this year, from everything that we have come through and are currently going through, from the bottom of our hearts, we are thankful for a lot of things. And I think by the time you get to the end of this evening, if you hang on with us through the whole thing, you will see that we are thankful and have a lot to be thankful for. Different than other annual meetings, other members of the executive committee will be coming on and going off, sharing the speaking load so you won't listen to me drone on and on about stuff that you don't care about. So we'll mix it up a little bit, and hopefully in this virtual atmosphere, you'll feel engaged. And anytime you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to unmute yourself, stop me, and ask a question. But first and foremost, we are excited for the partnerships that we have that ensure a bright future. And those are many, and there are many, and a lot of them that we have to be thankful for. And first and foremost is everyone on the call, everyone not on the call. This year, we were lucky recipients of a lot of CARES money, federal and state money that was allocated. And for that, we thank you, the taxpayer. For without you, we wouldn't have survived these trying times like we have. In addition to that, we also want to give a shout out to the season sponsors that we have. Even though our season was questionable and not really there to its fullest, we still want to thank these generous donors for all of the time and energy and their financial support that they've given us. First and foremost, to the First Energy Foundation, to the Garrett County Arts Council, to the Maryland State Arts Council, to Garrett College, to the Community Trust Foundation, to Wisp Resort, and to Maryland Humanities. In addition to these wonderful business sponsors, we also want to recognize those people that gave generously last year at this time and through the end of 2019 to the Concertmaster Society. You might notice that something is a little different to this slide than last year's slide for the Concertmaster Society. This year we decided to name the Concertmaster Society in honor of Paul Weiler, who we lost at the end of last year. If there was anything that Paul Weiler's life was focused towards, it was classical and orchestra music. And I think that when we birthed the Concertmaster Society several years ago, he, along with a few others, were very instrumental in pushing me in that direction. So the board felt that naming it in his honor was something that would honor his memory, and I think that it does. In addition to him, all of the people listed on this slide, we thank you generously for all of their support, that time and again they pour out their money for us. Another group that I would be remiss without recognizing tonight are the people that during the middle of the summer reached into their pockets to help us. They're really our stars, our stronger together at reaching success. These individuals donated again above and beyond their normal generous donations to again come to our aid. And last but surely not least, the group that I need to recognize are the fabulous people that I have the privilege of serving on this board with. It is truly a blessing and an honor to serve alongside, and I do mean alongside in the trenches with each and every one of these people. They bring a lot to the GLAF board and a lot to our community. And from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you. And I am indebtedly thankful for each and every one of them. At this time, I would like to turn it over to the secretary for the Garrett Lakes Arts Festival, Amy Boards.
And thank you, Andrew. Throughout the pandemic, GLAF has been sharing ways for you to enjoy performances from the comfort of your home, whether that be the Kennedy Center, the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, or this year's virtual performance of the Maryland Humanities Chautauqua. We hope you've been able to tune in and attend a few of these events and know that we will continue to bring you performing arts virtually. The GLAF board partnered with the Heart Board this year to bring the Art and Wine Festival alive in a year when getting thousands of people together just was not possible. We sold about 200 tickets for a chance to win a weekend that included lodging, a meal at a local restaurant, and the opportunity to enjoy one of the fabulous Garrett County activities that so many have come to enjoy, whether that be skiing or boating or golf, to name a few. The wine and weekend raffle did two things. First, it kept this event top of mind to those attendees and also to everyone locally here in the community. And most importantly, it was a very successful fundraising event for both organizations. In fact, GLAF received $8,000 in proceeds from the wine and weekend raffle. Heart received an equal donation, and we also started the coffers for 2021 with a little bit of money in the bank account. Speaking of 2021, every person that bought a raffle ticket will get entrance into next year's festival, when we hope that we're elbow to elbow with our favorite Cabernet. Congratulations to all of the winners. We really hope to bring April Teeny back in some fashion next year. Many of you know this has been a very successful fundraiser for GLAF for many years. And many of you were excited to attend this past April, when in fact, you were probably enjoying a quarantini instead. We're also looking at additional ideas for outdoor concert fundraisers in the spring. We know that you enjoy these social events, and we also look forward to them as fundraising events for GLAF. At this time, I will pass it over to Fred Fox.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, appreciate that. I think I'm off mute. So I've been tasked this evening with the topic of legacy. There's volunteering and then there's being voluntold. I think I was voluntold by Mary to speak about legacy. And the reason is in large part because my mother was a founding member of the Garrett Lakes Arts Festival. You'll see her picture there. She's still alive and well with us. And she, along with many other wonderful people, came together at a time when there was no structure or organization around the arts in the Garrett County community. People like Fred Stemple and Diane Thayer and Hannah Sinsel and others I'm sure I'm remiss to mention. They came together and provided really a foundation for arts in the community. And through their leadership and shared vision of arts, they brought together organization that I'm sure they are would be surprised back then that this would be still going strong 35 years later. So certainly deeply appreciative of their efforts and their foresight in bringing together arts in the community because of its strength and its importance to the human experience. And of course, my legacy is not the only one. You'll see a young man pictured there. I think Susie will recognize him, Mr. Matt Sinsel, our master thespian who came through our ranks and I think is now out in Utah doing thespian work out there. You'll see a little shadowed there, Amanda Stewart. Amanda is a product of Garrett County Public Schools, and I would say a legacy to our strong tradition of public music school teachers, people like Harold Hudnall and Dick Clever, and even our good friend Keith Jackson, who's now the Dean of the School of Arts at WVU. She is a product of that lineage. And last but not least, we see Evan Beachy there, who, my goodness, was named first chair all-state trombone in the past week. As you may know, Evan is the son of our very own Sean Beachy and wife Debbie. So we have a brand new legacy there from the Beachy family. So hats off to Evan and to all those folks pictured there and the many, many others who have contributed over the years, the aforementioned Paul Weimer, of course. And I should also mention a shout out to Rob Michael, who announced officially in the paper today his retirement from his State Farm agency. So Rob was very instrumental in his vision and in his checkbook and in his time given to GLAF over the years. So I want to acknowledge him on his retirement. And I should note with Evan and Amanda, it's not lost on me that they're both trombone players. So just a little plug for us trombone players. But in any case, as we talk about legacy, I wanted to mention and ask you to think about legacy tonight in terms of leadership, right? So legacy is to me largely about leadership, and we think about what do we want our legacy to be as board members in 2020. And obviously we have a strong foundation from the legacy I mentioned of those wonderful people way back when, but here we are in 2020, a year of pandemic and a year that's going to be transformational on many fronts, and it's a year of uncertainty. We're not sure what the future will bring immediately, and hopefully it will be resolved, as Amy talked about, being elbow to elbow with the Cabernet going forward. But 2021 still looks to be very much like 2020 in terms of public gatherings. So I would ask you to think about your leadership, your individual contributions, and your thoughts and vision for what we need to do going forward to keep GLAF thriving as it has for these past 35 years. We are also on the cusp of a beautiful brand new performing arts center on the campus of Garrett College. You'll see the website view there, and thanks to Senator Edwards on the call, as well as Commissioner Edwards and all of their efforts to bring this to bear. This is really an exciting opportunity for us on many, many levels to bring together the Arts Center. And it's not our building, it's the Garrett College's building, but in effect, it is our Heinz Hall. We'll be performing here. Our people will be performing here at CPAC, as it's called. It's our Heinz Hall. It's our Kennedy Center. It's our Meyerhoff, and that's where we'll be going. And hopefully, 2 short years to have performances to share and really generate a whole new foundation for arts going forward, whether it's visual arts or ballet or musical arts or theater or what have you. These arts deeply touch our hearts at many levels, and the arts, and we're all together arts fans, or we wouldn't be on this call tonight. We know that the depths it touches our own human hearts and the importance of arts and the human experience. So this new building, this structure, this foundation, if you will, really provides for us, again, a new era, and we are part of that foundation to create our own legacy. So it's not just showing up to meetings like this. It's going to demand each of us to really provide more to make it successful, because as I mentioned, it will be a challenging time in the immediate future as we look to put these performing arts together. So I would ask you to think about things, how GLAF can grow its profile, how it can expand its reach. Maybe we partner with people over in Fayette County, Pennsylvania, or Preston County, West Virginia, or other schools or other partnerships. Do we think about the possibility of centers of excellence? We have, I don't know if Sean's on the call, Sean Beachy, just a tremendous resource for the piano playing world, who really I think there's a piano lab and the works are already in motion. I mean, you could think about a center of excellence around piano playing, because you have no disrespect, Sean, a horse in the stable like Sean. I mean, that's a tremendous resource. As you know, I'm the organist of my church. I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing, right? I was just thrown into it because the two ladies in front of me retired. And so, but I don't see anybody behind me. So there's a void there that we could potentially fill in terms of piano players who are often forgot about, except when they're needed in various functions around. Do we partner with organizations like the Penn Alps Music Group? I mean, we need to think about these things in terms of how we can grow our footprint, if you will, because it will be challenging given COVID, and people's may change their mode of operation in terms of attending live events. And also, we need to think about growing perhaps our ideas around how we position ourselves, right? So the Deep Creek brand, we know, is very, very strong, right? There was a marketing study done about 5 years ago or so that showed how strong the brand was then and how it's gotten even stronger. And, more people are coming here, to take sort of, flight out of the metropolitan areas. But also, I should mention, I'd be remiss not to mention the survey that came out this week. I think this was announced in the paper today about the survey that was done, that people come here for fun, right? What's fun, right? So the implicit in that probably is the outdoor adventure world, right? Being on the lake, snow skiing, hiking at Swallow Falls, what have you. But I would argue that the arts is also fun, because I personally have many memories. I'm sure that many of you do as well. I think back to, Mary Maynard Ferguson, when he came into Garrett College back in the mid 70s, who effectively changed the trajectory of my life and my brother's life. We had our socks blown off by Maynard, that Jim went on to be a professional musician as a trumpet player for 26 years in the Navy. We need to think about maybe capturing that brand and saying, hey, arts is fun too, right? We're a place where you can have arts, but we need to make ourselves discoverable. So I don't know how to do that exactly, but I would throw that out to the group as an idea to think about as we go forward, and with different naming structures around. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to work with you, and look forward to a robust 2021 and going forward. So happy Thanksgiving to all. Thank you.
Next up, we have Vice Chair Sue Arntzen.
Hi, I'm Sue Arntzen, local artist, local member of the GLAF board, local person we came to Garrett County for 1 year, 35 years ago, and here we are. And one of the wonderful things in my life here has been being able to be involved in the arts. We're certainly grateful for the partnerships we've established over the years, particularly in the arts community. And it's really been fun to be involved with both the performing arts and the visual arts. Sometime during the last months, when Art and Wine, as we knew it, was canceled, we began to think about what we could do for the art, for the actual visual arts. We wanted to create an awareness of the visual arts. So we're going to have an auction. And the auction was inspired by Rob Michaels, who Fred just mentioned has just retired. And it's going to be, we're going to have 5 artists featured over the next 4 or 5 months. There will be a website where you can go to see these things. And believe it or not, the very first picture is going to be Rob Michaels' picture, his painting of the lake. I see it right there. And you're going to be able to go online and bid on this piece. You will go to betterworld.org, and his piece will be on the site until mid-December for bids. If you have trouble, as I did, getting onto the site, call Mary like I do, because it's a little bit complicated and you need to put in a password. But I'm really excited about the fact that we, GLAF, are now going to do a cooperative venture with the artists of the community. I think it's a real positive step forward in partnering with these people. Each artist will be featured mid-month to mid-month. Rob will be the first one. He will be followed by Caroline Blizzard's photography, which is fabulous, from mid-December to mid-January. Then you get the golden opportunity to bid for Bob Youngke's piece, and you might be lucky to get it at a really great price, as a matter of fact. And he will be January to February. Connie Pardini, a jeweler who lives up in Pennsylvania, but shows here at the farmer's market and at all of our stuff, all of our events here. She will be on with her jewelry from February to March. And then if we last that long and we still have the energy, at the very end of the line will be Sue Arnson with a piece that I've done of the lake. And I'm really looking forward to this event. I think it's the first time we've done something like this. It's a little risky. Please support us with this because it's supporting the arts and it's supporting GLAF. The proceeds will all go to GLAF. So go to betterworld.org and support the arts. Thanks.
Thank you, Sue. And of course, saving my favorite artist for last, Sue Arnson.
This is the part I want you to see.
Wasn't that exciting? That video, every time I see it, gives me cold chills, and it shouldn't because I knew what's coming up, but it's still, it's very exciting. 2020 has been a difficult year, but it's given us all time to reflect and to look back at what is important to us. The arts is one of those things that is very important to us, and we've missed so much. So we've reimagined how we're going to experience the arts. GLAF is planning to open our 2021 season with the SOFA series. The national players are going to kick us off with As You Like It. Baron Ryan is going to entertain us with his solo pianist performance, Where Classical Meets Cool. And then many of you will remember Charlotte Blake Alston. Charlotte Blake was here when my daughter Anna was in middle school, and now Anna's graduated from college. So it's been a while since Charlotte's been here, but she is a wonderful, wonderful African-American storyteller that I promise you will be just enchanted with. Those three performances are going to be offered to the GLAF audience for free. All of our 2020 season ticket holders will receive their link first, and then the link will be available for the first 100 homes to view these three performances. In addition, as you saw, part of our SOFA series is going to be the MSO. These 6 concerts, they're making it an exclusive offer, 30% discount to our GLAF audience. So that is fantastic that we'll be able to virtually experience the majesty of the Maryland Symphony Orchestra. And then we're bringing our live performances, fingers crossed, from 2020 back to 2021. The dates are very tentative, but we're hoping in June to bring back the West Virginia Symphony. In July, our dear precious friends, the Pittsburgh Symphony soloists, with their 8 seasons. Both of those performances will be at WISP, as will Bettman and Halpin in August. August 1st will be at WISP. And then we're hoping that in November, the Clipper City Brass Quintet will be able to come to Garrett College. In addition to these, we have a great arts education presentation, and all of these are going to be virtual. The Community Trust Foundation has provided us with grant funding for education. National players will have the Play As You Like It, and in addition, a workshop for both Northern and Southern high school students. Janet's Planet, with her grant from NASA, will be providing daily dose of science for our students. And Pirate School, the Science of Pirates, is another super exciting presentation that will be provided to our schools. The Ballet Theater of Maryland is going to provide a residency. We're not sure if that'll be virtual or it will be live. We'll see how that turns out. As well, the Clipper City Brass Quintet will have a performance for the school students and master's classes for both high schools. In addition, as Andrew mentioned about thanking our donors, sponsors, and our faithful ticket holders, I'd also like to shout out my personal expression of thankfulness to our county commissioners, Paul Edwards, our state senator, George Edwards, and Wendell Beitzel, who wasn't been able to be with us. We are so thankful to be in a county where our elected officials appreciate and support the arts. I honestly don't know how they could do more for us. In addition to that, I'd like to thank Tom Reiford, the Assistant Secretary of Commerce, overseeing tourism, film, and arts in Maryland, for joining us this evening. It's been a long day. Tom, anytime I ask Tom for help, he's always right there. I really appreciate him being here in Garrett County, and want to thank Tom, along with Governor Hogan, for working together to help sustain the arts industry in Maryland. Governor Hogan has been relentless in giving relief to Marylanders with $7 million in emergency grant funding so far. I'm telling you, we wouldn't be here today if we hadn't had this support from our elected officials. So I just want to give a sincere thank you to those folks.
Thank you, Mary. And now on to the boring part of the meeting, as I like to call it. I'll try to keep it as engaging as we have during the business portion of our meeting tonight. And again, anytime, feel free to stop me. We'll take questions or put your questions in the chat, and Fred will relay those to me. So first up tonight was the agenda for the business meeting. And it's going to be really just a brief update on the GLAF bylaws and articles of incorporation, a brief financial overview, some discussions on some new committee work that we have going on in the GLAF organization, the election of board members, and the presentation of officers. So we'll go ahead and get started with the bylaws. Bylaws and articles of incorporation, something that GLAF has tried to tackle for the last several years, and Sue Arnson and I could never quite get our act totally together to get those bylaws updated. So last year we brought on Barry Weinberg as one of our board members. Barry, being an attorney, was the right person at the right time to help us out. Barry was a tremendous asset in helping us not only make our bylaws up to date, but to make them less cumbersome so that they will last more of a lifetime than they have. Basically, it was just a cleanup and polish of the board, of the bylaws, giving the board some flexibility with committees, dropping some committees that had not been in existence for a long time. That was approved by the board on August the 11th. And then when we were looking at the bylaws, we started looking at the articles of incorporation and noticed that they were a little outdated. Actually, they listed our registered agent as Fred Thayer, who has not been with us for some time. So our new registered agent is Brian Bowl, and we hope to have him with us for a long time. In addition to that change, there was just some grammatical corrections that was made. Those articles of incorporation were passed by the board on October 13th, and those corrections have been submitted to the state of Maryland. So we should be good to go for quite a while on our bylaws and our articles of incorporation. Next up is, where does GLAF stand financially? This is always a wonderful question because people always want to talk about money. You'll notice on the chart on the left is the 2019 actuals. We replaced the 2020 approved budget with the one we amended for COVID, and then where we are year to date. Just a few things that I want to draw your attention to is, okay, so why is other income in the COVID budget $1,500 and your year to date is $11,000? Well, I have just the answer for that. That's the CARES and COVID money that we were grateful recipients from many organizations for, that have really helped sustain us through the 2020 season. The other big thing that I want to make a notion of is, you will notice $35,500 in contracts and fees in the amended 2020 COVID budget. We thought maybe we would be back to face-to-face concerts in 2020. That, as you well know, did not happen. So that really we only paid out one expense of $5,500. So the net income year to date, as of November 15th, was $54,481. As you'll see reflected on the cash position on the second chart, 42,526 of that money is set aside in reserved accounts. One of the great accounts that we were able to get this year was a grant from the Community Trust Foundation directly for arts education in the classroom. The other one was, we got some money from Dancing Classrooms. They ceased their organization, gave us the money for us to pay forward over the next 5 years directly towards dance in the classroom or through education. The first piece that we'll be using that money with is the Ballet Theater of Maryland. So once you take away what we have in the bank minus what's restricted, that leaves us with $11,956 to date remaining in net operating funds. The one thing, and my personal favorite number on this slide, is the number 0. You'll notice all the way at the bottom of the cash position is the line of credit used, $0. And coming from several seasons ago when that number was much higher than I was comfortable with it being, I'm glad that this year we have definitely been able to keep the line of credit at a 0 amount. Are there any questions on the financials? Should you have any questions and are just uncomfortable, feel free to reach out to the GLAF office, and Mary can give you way more information on the financials than I probably would ever care to. Next up is the equity, diversity, and inclusion. As mentioned earlier, GLAF took up the topic of EDI at the mention of one of our board members, and the GLAF organization is founded in our best interest to focus time and energy on this topic. Under the sturdy hand of Barry Weinberg, the EDI committee has sent to the executive committee for approval a plan of action. Barry, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you, Andrew. The committee is I and Mary Helen Spear and Fred Scherer. We've gotten together and over the last several weeks have been able to draw up some goals and initial plans of action, which I'm happy to say were shared with the executive committee, and with some of their suggestions for revisions have now been approved by them. And our Committee for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion is ready to start. We've already talked to some people. We've been looking at the Maryland State Arts Council webinars, and we've checked out online programs. We're ready to go. Our main goal with the proposed goals and plans was to give us flexibility so that as we go forward and explore what alternatives are out there and possibilities, we'll be able to incorporate them easily. Our first three big topics are to establish an annual EDI awareness training for the board and to explore some new programming, which we call American Voices at this time, trying to get programs that may be tailored to more diverse audiences. And we're going to participate with the Garrett County Arts Council and the Allegheny County Arts Council, see what they're doing and see how we can fold our activities into theirs. So we are set, we are starting, and in fact, the fact that we are looking for inclusion should be interpreted very broadly, and we want to include any thoughts or ideas that any of you out there have for us. And it doesn't have to be right now, it can be at any time. So let us know what you think, and in the meantime, we're getting to work.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Mary Helen, and thank you, Fred Scherer, for all of your hard work. They definitely have taken the bulls by the proverbial horns and really gotten knee deep in the work, and definitely have come up with a plan that we have put into place immediately. So thank you again to the three of them. They have really done excellent work. And speaking of Fred Scherer, he is up next in the discussion. Fred comes to us as came to us as a nomination as a potential GLAF board member by Paul Weiler. The middle of last year, Paul had given Mary and I a list of people that he thought may be potential board members. Fred was one of the ones that was included. Fred, as you can tell from his pedigree, on the slide there, is a native of Western Maryland. He and his wife have been faithful attendees and supporters for GLAF for many years. In talking with Fred, they particularly enjoyed the Seldom Seen concert last year. Sue Arnson, that will please your heart, I'm sure, as well as the symphony concerts at WISP and the military bands. But then, who again doesn't enjoy a good Sousa March? So Fred comes to us tonight, as you can see on the slide, as our newest of board members. So this year we have the GLAF Board of Directors unanimously brings to the membership these four individuals for terms set to expire in 2023. Since we're in a virtual setting and voting by raise of hand is not real easy, we're going to vote by acclamation tonight. As this is a recommendation from the board, this requires no seconds. The only question I really need to ask is there anyone opposed to the election of these four members? If so, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Arnson, you can't vote, so don't even try back there in the background.
Hearing none, we shall accept these four members by acclamation and congratulations to this fine group of individuals. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you your full board, and literally your full board of Garrett Lakes Arts Festival Board of Directors, as well as your officers that have agreed to continue their service next year. Again, it is my privilege and my honor to work individually with each and every one of them. And if you do not know anyone on this page, I encourage you, please get to know them, because you can take it from me, they are all fine people. And again, folks, that brings us to the end of our annual meeting tonight. I think this is a record 37-minute meeting from start to end. So I hope that you have found this encouraging, that we have plans for 2021. We will keep our fingers crossed that 2021 goes forward. If not, we're coming to your living room with our sofas. So are there any questions? Anything anyone wants to discuss?
Yeah,
This
feel
is
free to
your
mute
meeting.
yourselves. You can do so directly.
Anyone?
Bueller.
All right, Bueller. Bueller? All right, I thank you all for joining us tonight. It has been a blast to put this annual meeting together. Although it would have been better in person, I personally have had a blast working on the virtual part of this. So thank you for coming, spending your time with us to learn about what's going on with the Garrett Lakes Arts Festival. As always, we would normally end this meeting with cookies and punch, so I'll let you enjoy your cookies and punch at home.
Cheers.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, everyone. Happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Good to see everybody's faces.
I know.
Nice, huh?
That was very good.
Tell Linda I said hi, George.
Well put together.
Okay.
I saw
Okay.
her back. I saw her back there, so I know she's there.
Yeah, she slipped in.
She's allowed.
Night, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Be well.
George, did you get an update on the Performing Arts Center?
Me?
Yeah. You need to drive by. It's
I drove
going.
by. They're making progress, good progress.
It's really exciting. They've got the foundation and it's really moving along nicely.
Good. You need to get some big event for the opening. You got a little while to do that, so
I was gonna say,
By then.
you
Get
you
Fred
deal
on.
She wants Bruce Springsteen, I think.
get Fred on his trombone.
with, you get rid of the virus, George, and we'll have a big
Yeah.
I think that's going to be our biggest event is getting rid of that nasty virus that everyone's so tired of. But we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to all of the community events. I had a great meeting with the schools and the Fine Arts Committee, and they're already talking about hopefully being able in 2022 to have the Fine Arts Fair again and to be live instead of virtual. So it's really exciting that they're excited.
Cool. Okay.
All right,
All
folks,
right.
I'm going to
Everybody,
exit.
have a
So,
great Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay,
you'll be well.
thanks everyone.
Be
Bye.
safe. Be safe.
Safe is good.